It's that time of the afternoon. Talk on the block, and usually on a Wednesday, I save it for the reports across the country. So if there's something interesting happening in your part of Dominica, feel free to call in and tell us about it, okay? This is Talk on the Block. We are hearing that two brothers from Maho who are fishermen are said to be missing since Sunday afternoon. Vernon Benjamin and Deva Benjamin went fishing between 5 p.m. and 6 p.m. on Sunday and have not returned. One relative told the Dominica News Online it's common practice for the two to go fishing in the evening and return the next day. The police have not released any official statement on the matter. So the numbers are 449309596 and 976164257. If you want to call in, please let us know. Let's take a phone call there. Hello.
Matt, when rain falling, I don't go nowhere. I say, oh, but play music.
When rain is falling?
Yeah, I don't go nowhere because Sunday had rain. Saturday had rain, so why do I have to go and fish for?
Okay, all right. Talk to me. You better try calling back. 449 again, 3095 96 and 97. Caller, are you there? Let's try another line. Hello? We missed a few calls there. Let me repeat. It's 449 3095 96 and 97. Hello, talk to me.
Hello, Matt. Good afternoon.
How are you?
Fine. I must say, Matt, this morning the news was quite interesting. Extracts from what people said make it more interesting, and people, can have a little bit more insight of what's going on. Keep it up.
All right. Okay, I'll pass that to the newsroom. A newsroom has been reported that your news was a little more interactive. I suspect you're talking about the voice clips, on a particular issue. Keep it that way. 449-3095, 449-3096, and 449-3097. We're going to come back after this.
NCCU pays you back in our $1 million rebate campaign. Members who paid their loans well in 2015 will receive money back. Check your account for your portion of the big rebates. It certainly pays to be a member, as NCCU pays you back. We're putting $1 million back into members' pockets. Not yet a member? Join the NCCU today. Left the family? NCCU wants to welcome you home. Visit a NCCU branch today. Thank you, members.
Nature Island Cruise 951 on Live 95. Every day, Monday to Friday. Exploring the sights, sounds, happening talk on the blocks, healthy lifestyles, and culture of Dominica. Enjoy daily giveaways of valuable products and services from leading businesses on the Nature Island of the Caribbean. Stay locked and immerse yourself in the breathtaking views from above the undulating hills and valleys, and in the magnificent marine adventures beneath our Caribbean Sea. All this and more on Nature Island Cruise 951 on Live 95, only on the big station. Get a taste of the enchanting Creole and indigenous cuisine and lifestyles of the charming people of Dominica. Experience the dynamic rhythms of our culture, music, and entertainment, our vibrant, unique niche agribusiness products, our refreshing range of colorful flowers, and the fabulous foliage in our horticulture. Explore the prolific life-sustaining values of our natural foods, herbal teas, spices, and medicines. All this and more on Nature Island Cruise 951. Every day, Monday to Friday on Live 95. Only on the big station. Only on Q95.
Talk to me here. Hello.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mark.
Yes, sir.
And how are you?
Okay.
Mr. Mark, I still touching on that because I heard, and it's not I on news. They said we're going to get more boat for that season. Look, they even applying, they said they were going to get a big plane to land in Melvin Hall. I'm calling on the Prime Minister. I don't know, where those are big jet. If they have 30 miles before you can a hospital, if anything happen. That hospital in Marigot, Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerritt. Forget about bridge because we have 4 bridges and check Margaret D. Make sure Marigot Hospital. If in case anything, you're going to pay because they will not, or either they will not send a big plane because they say right now they're going to measure to see if we can get a big jet to come into Dominica. So with that now, you cannot have 20 miles, 30 miles before you have a hospital. Anything that happen to get assistance, doctor, on the hospital. That is what I had on the file for today.
Thank you, my brother. Keeping this on the top of his agenda. I can't tell anything new at this time. Both sides seem to be conspicuously silent. I will play you the last that Mr. Darrow had on this in a few minutes. We're taking more of your phone calls. Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon, man.
My brother, how you doing?
Well, I'm not too bad. But right now, I'm just sitting here thinking about the hospital.
What about the hospital, sir?
I'm thinking about it. I'm wondering how long are they going to stay before they give us a hospital? How long? But we, the people of Marigot, we can't wait too long again. Because since 2009 to now, we have been waiting. When the people of Benghazi couldn't stand more with Gaddafi, they took to the street. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Good afternoon, Matt.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Of course, there was a big activity, vigil there last Thursday. According to all reports, went very well. But there was no indication as to what would be the next step there. Hello, talk to me.
Good afternoon, Matt.
Yes.
Matt, can you imagine the Marigot Health Center opened by Mrs. Mary Williams? And you have to go there. When you screen, you have to go to Wesley to see the doctor still. Can you imagine that? You understand what I'm saying, man?
I understand everything that you're saying, but I thought they were making some moves there to move it to the two buildings that they had selected in the interim. So nothing happening in Marigot so far?
This doesn't make any sense, Matt. After I screen there, I have to go on the road to get a bus to go at Wesley to see the doctor. That doesn't make sense.
Are you serious?
Huh?
I'm asking you, are you serious? Because I thought that was dealt with.
I'm telling you what is happening right now.
So you screen at Marigot and you go to Wesley to see the doctor?
Yes.
Interesting.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I thought that was already corrected following the news conference last week with the Chief Medical Officer and the Permanent Secretary. To go back to that, just to make sure what was reported there. Now that this lady is saying that she's been screened in Marigot but been sent to Wesley to see the doctor. I just let's see, because the investigations took place and it decided that something was going to happen there in Marigot. They were using two buildings. But let's see what happens. Let's take are you there, caller?
Yes, I'm there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. From the way things are going on in Dominica, I believe this men Mr. have there, the dictators carried has there. I personally believe that they themselves are equally corrupt, and that's why they can't open their mouth and put Mr. out, put a vote against them, Mr. as crime minister. You understand?
You keep saying that, and I keep warning you about that. This crime minister thing. Can you, call him Mr. Scarrett if you don't want to say prime minister, or call him Scarrett. In many parts of the world, they refer to their leader, by his first name. But let's listen to Dr. Esprit when she gave that report at the news conference last week. Just want to jog on my mind a bit there.
What we did when we relocated the basic services accident and emergency, wound care, those had to be relocated as well, inclusive of the necessary equipment. So we could not leave our essential equipment behind. So all of that was referred or was relocated to the Wesley Health Center. In addition to that, services such as blood taking, these services had to be suspended unless it was absolutely necessary or urgent cases. We had normal review of clients referred to the Wesley Health Center. We also had to request an additional pharmacist because one was actually doing the storage and other important functions, while to avoid interruption of services, we had one actually liaise with the doctor so that that services would continue. However, some of the challenges and concerns that we've had is for the continuity of care and to ensure that there was minimal disruption of care given to the public. In an effort to do that, the pharmacy had to be relocated. We have there is a government-owned rented building in the vicinity, so we had to actually move our drugs to that area. And the pharmacy itself, the team had to be on a mobile unit, as I said, liaising with the doctor wherever he may go throughout the community, throughout the villages in that district. In addition to that, the dental unit is now operating from the schools, seeing that we have limited space within the Wesley Health Center as well. And we had other essential services that had to be on pause. For example, the environmental health officer, not that it's on pause per se, but she's rather mobile. So there has been a level of disruption, and we are trying our best to actually have minimal disruption of those services. However, some of the critical challenges do. So yes, we've moved to Wesley Health Center. However, there are challenges with that, in that right now the public, the persons or catchment area that we care for actually has to move from Marigot. They have to move from Marigot to Wesley. So there is a distance, a transportation, a cost that is related to that move. Staff themselves have to adjust to their new location, and again there is travel expenses. The district medical officer, he is positioned in, or he's located at Marigot. He now has to move from Marigot to Wesley on a frequent basis, particularly as it relates to on-call services and other emergency services. Then the Wesley Health Center, which is a type 1 health center, the facility is actually small. So yes, we have additional services being brought across. So space is a challenge for both clients and staff. And in addition to that, if we know the area very well, somewhere close to the airport in this corner, sometimes there are sea swells, and that can impede a person's travels in that area to get to Wesley. So certainly there are challenges that we are facing. We actually went up, as my supervisors have said, we actually did a site visit to the area so we could actually visualize what the staff is going through and the challenges of patients. And based on that, that's why we've made recommendations to deal with the situation as quickly as possible so that we could bring a sense of normalcy to the Marigot Health District sooner rather than later.
All right.
Thank you very much, Director. So I think you get a clear understanding as to our backdrop on the whole situation. So while we had an issue in Marigot and we commended our staff, we will continue even through this forum to commend the staff for their resilience. Actually, what has happened to Marigot, it is really worth noting that our staff they have committed themselves to ensuring that the public receives care, and they have to be commended for that. In many instances when you have those type of issues, you find persons not reporting to work. They have all reported to work, and it was amazing to us when we went that they said sometimes they just cook up in the kitchen. All of them sit down looking for place when patients come in and doing whatever. So nobody stayed home because of that issue. So while we have commended them, but when we looked at the magnitude of the issues that were raised, the challenges that we were facing, we had to look at the options. Now, as I said, they made a few options themselves as a team that we would want to actually work with almost immediately. But when we reviewed some of the alternate accommodations that they proposed to us, we had to review, and we were on point. Actually, we went before a project officer. We had the engineer from Public Works with us at the meeting. So we visited most of the sites and the options that they proposed, and we have come to a final decision on the proposed accommodation for the relocation of the entire team, that is the A&E department and the health center. So we have gotten 2 houses at very close proximity with each other. One will be housing the accident and emergency department, and one the community health center. And I think based on the discussions with staff, I must say that they were very, very appreciative of the support from the central administration, and they're working feverishly with us. Up to yesterday, they were together with the project officer, had to return to Marigot, because when we went on the visit, we were very comfortable that we had gotten 2 locations for the relocation of the A&E from Wesley. But the same evening, I received information that it would not have been possible. And I made a few calls, called somebody, the owner overseas. He said, give him till next morning. And the morning when we called, I was again disappointed that the house was not available. And even at that time, we were able to get the project officer and the contractor to go back to Marigot. And we were successful in getting the second house to house the health center. So as we speak now, the staff have started actually cleaning up the areas that they're supposed to move in, and we will be starting off work as soon as possible. I think only one of the houses we need to do a few retrofitting work, but one of the houses it's, I think, move ready. We can move almost immediately.
All right, hear that. She can move almost immediately. That was the PS sometime at the news conference last week. Now we are hearing screening taking place in Marigot and have to go back to the health center. Still trying to confirm that. Hello, talk to me.
Matt, good afternoon.
To you, sir.
Matt, sometimes I wonder, they want to sound as though a train ran into the Marigot Hospital and all this had to be done right away. I mean, this was all not known a long time ago. Why all of a sudden there's a mad rush to close it? That thing about that fungus.
That was closed 2 years ago.
Yeah, this has been going on for so long. Nothing has been done. Rural security seems to be wanting to taunt people. And when they come up in arms, they say, yes, I told you they were revolutionary. I told you they're troublemakers. And then set the police on them and cause a big revolution. Why is he trying that? That's the impression I get from this government. Everything is a fracas.
You think it's the Prime Minister that's trying that?
I don't know why.
Because I've been hearing health officials in that matter.
Matt, I do, and now he sends all the officials to take the flak, and no politician is saying anything. We're not hearing anything from the politicians. We're only hearing the flak from the administration, the administrative people in health. Before, when you hear politicians talk about, oh, we're going to do this and we're going to do that, it's all politicians. Now it comes down to the nitty-gritty. All you're hearing is the administrators in health. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you too. 449-3095. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon, Mike.
Yes.
Yeah, you heard in that interview the doctor was concerned about the health practitioners having to cross in front of the city.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So they are concerned about their workers, but the everyday persons that live in the area, they can go to hell in a handbasket. But Mark, there's those persons and the people of Marigot recommended the Foundation High School. This is a facility that was closed down and is now being used by the youth division in recent times. But up to now, they have refused to mention it because they have converted the facility. I don't know for how long they intend to convert it, but presently, it's armed forces that is presently living there, you know, Matt.
Armed forces?
Armed forces. It appears it even have regional forces there too, sleeping and get up, bathing in the rivers close by. So instead of facilitating the people of Wesley, Marigot, Woodford Hill, and at Kingston to give them a facility that everything can be housed in the same building, they're bringing the heavily armed with submachine gun and thing forces. Maybe they even have aircraft, anti-aircraft gun. I don't know, but they're heavily armed, living in the foundation high school, the one foundation high school, and having people going from building to building, village to village, to get a basic blood test. And you're telling me Roosevelt Skerrit didn't learn well from the Communist Party of China? Must remember he sent government officials there after they twin the two parties, the Dominican Labour Party and the Communist Party of China. He sent a delegation there. Matt, you remember that?
I think so, yes.
In China, they don't listen to the people, you know. A situation like that, you hear the health minister come and admit, yes, they should have consulted with the people of Marigot and Wesley and so on. At least he admits that. But Roosevelt Skerrit went to Canada, to England, and we can go to hell. The Foundation High School is a military base now, so they're protecting the airport facility. That is all they want to do. But what about the people? We can die like flies. It's not a business, man. It's shameful. All we asking for is basic health care. Thank you, man.
Thank you. Let's listen to Darrow. I don't know if you have heard Mr. Darrow just yet, the health minister.
I must say we're in a much better place now, of course, than we were 8 months ago, in a much better place than we were yesterday. We would be moving full steam ahead with the resettlement of the Dubic community. And I must say that, yes, we're in a much better place. I was talking about Dubic, that we're moving full steam ahead with Dubic. We should see the complete relocation of Dubic within the next month or so. Being optimistic. Where most of the homes, the 50 homes or so that have been allocated to Dubic, would have been completed or in a very near state of completion. And of course, all the utilities would have been in terms of water, electricity, and then we now have to move forward with the roads. In fact, some of the residents or potential occupants of the house would have already been also, although there's no official documentation yet to assign them the house. Okay, we would have already on paper located different families' house, so they'll be given the keys so they can go in, clean the outside of their homes, that kind of stuff, so they can begin to take ownership of the property. For the past financial year or so, that we would have had an allocation of $1 million every year being put on the budget to deal with the renovation of this building, because we were advised by the Ministry of Health that in light of the new national hospital, that it might not be very prudent because we would know that in the Labour Party manifesto that we are committed into building a new hospital in Marigot.
Right.
As I said, this is very strategic in terms of the location, the new airport, and maybe we could have it done in a more specialized way to deal with traumas, etc. So all of these issues that are being raised, as I said, I'm not discarding the issues being raised by the public in terms of the importance of a health facility in Marigot. So these are not being discarded, the water being thrown on them. As I said, in the meantime, fresh directives have been given to the Ministry of Health so we can continue to look at and explore the possibility of the new hospital at Marigot. So this is not off the cards, Simeon. We were still committed to it as the Minister of Health. I can tell you we're still committed to it. The Labour Party administration is still committed to building a new hospital in Marigot. The solution that I mentioned, the two buildings that I said is immediate. Then we have the shorter term ones, which is to spend $1.4 million from what I understood to see how we can get the original building back to being used at least for a few months, maybe a year or so, until such time as we can get our plans of the new Marigot Hospital in place. And from the onset, I really would like to make it clear that I'm not one to politicize such an important sector, such an important service as the health service. We know they say in the health of a nation is the wealth of a nation. The health of anybody is the wealth of anybody, because without a well-able body, it's almost impossible to do anything to advance yourself. So it's unfortunate. I want to say that the ministry maybe would have fallen short a bit in terms of making information available to the public at that point in time when the mold was discovered and updating the public accordingly. Although informed, it reported to me that they did have the ways and means, of reporting to the community themselves, people who come for the service, etc., to let them know what was going on. But I think at that point in time, way back then, a couple of weeks ago, when all of this happened, that a public service announcement would have been nice to inform the and not just the Marigot community, because as I said, they would have the ways and means of sharing information in the community, but the nation by extension as to what was going on. The health team and of course the entire health team would have put their shoulders to the wheel and started looking for various options for the immediate, meaning they would have identified a couple facilities, a couple properties that maybe would have been available for lease. So then service could have been moved back to Marigot proper, recognizing, as I said, the importance of having the service back in Marigot proper. So all of this, as I said, was done recognizing the importance of having this service in Marigot proper. So to politicize this issue, I think really is nothing more than just mischief making.
So this is mischief making, according to Health Minister Daru. He spoke last week on Kyrie. You heard him making many references to Simeon. Simeon is the host of that talking program. Hello.
Matt, good afternoon to you and your listeners.
Yeah.
I agree with the minister. It's mischief making by him, mischief making by the Ministry of Health, mischief making by Roosevelt Skerrit, all because the people of Marigot are standing for integrity and they will not vote the Labour Party. Mischief making. A bridge is being built in the capital city, which we do not need at this point in time. But the Marigot Hospital is closed down. Why are we punishing the people? And we tend to think that it's the people of Marigot we are punishing. And no matter what amount of police that is in Marigot, no matter what amount of guns that is in Marigot, if we as Dominicans make up our mind, no amount of police and no amount of guns will stop us. Some of us may die, and some will die on the other side, Matt. But we will stand up for our right because it's a democratic country, it is a civilized society, and we have a right to demonstrate. The Constitution gives us that right, Matt. We did it in 1979. We did it in 1979. So what is wrong with it? What is wrong with us? We cannot do it. How can you have the people suffering like that? Supposing you have an emergency or an accident on your hand with a plane, how are you going to deal with it? You are going to take the patient from Marigot all the way to Roseau in Wine and Dine Road. By the time the person reaches Roseau, is too numerous to mention. I mean, we have to sit down and think. We must not punish people based on who they support or who they vote. This is the people's right. And what is happening to the people in Marigot is happening to every one of us as Dominicans, and we must stand up. And if it means that we have to block road, we will block road. What is happening in this country? What is going on? Where's the churches? Where's the institutions? Where's those pastors that like to jeter me pray on Sunday for people? We are there to tell the Prime Minister what he's doing is wrong. But no, when the opposition stand up now, that is the time all of them want to wash their dirty linen in public. But we will stand up for our rights. It's the Constitution that give it to us, not Mr. Skerrit.
All right, caller, thank you very much. Let's listen to Daru again.
And from the onset, I really would like to make it clear that I'm not one to politicize such an important sector, such an important service as the health service. They say in the health of a nation is the wealth of a nation. The health of anybody is the wealth of anybody, because without a well-able body, it's almost impossible to do anything to advance yourself. So it's unfortunate. I want to say that the ministry maybe would have fallen short a bit in terms of making information available to the public at that point in time when the mold was discovered and updating the public accordingly. Although I was informed, it was reported to me that they did have the ways and means, of reporting to the community themselves, people who come for the service, etc., to let them know what was going on. But I think at that point in time, way back then, a couple of weeks ago, when all of this happened, that a public service announcement would have been nice to inform the and not just the Marigot community, because as I said, they would have the ways and means of sharing information in the community, but the nation by extension as to what was going on. the health team and of course the entire health team would have put their shoulders to the wheel and started looking for various options for the immediate, meaning they would have identified a couple facilities, a couple properties that maybe would have been available for lease. So then service could have been moved back to Marigot proper, recognizing, as I said, the importance of having the service back in Marigot proper. So all of this, I said, was done recognizing the importance of having this service in Marigot proper. So to politicize this issue, I think really is nothing more than just mischief making.
Let's take a phone call. Hello. Yeah, my brother, how are you?
Just listening, Matt. Just listening.
Are you politicizing the issue?
Matt, mischief making. These are the words from Kenneth Daru, not me, Matt. And I really want to tell Kenneth Daru, he needs to really think before he really speaks and understand that this is not a joke. This is serious business. He's the Minister of Health. This is what he's coming on the radio to say, talking about politicizing and mischief making. But the responsibility of health of any nation belongs to the government of the day, Matt. It belongs to them. That's a responsibility. That is why people elected them and put them in that position. But I think Kenneth Daru, Roosevelt Skerritt, and Reuben Blackmore, they are really provoking the people of Marigot and environs. They're provoking the people of Marigot and environs. They need to stop it. They need to understand the seriousness of this. Get down to hard work, because apparently they don't have work to do. Get down to hard work and address the situation in Marigot. It is the PS, you played it the other day, who said that they got recommendations from qualified engineers to demolish the building. That's not coming from me or from you, Matt. That is coming from qualified and competent persons. I do not know and understand. I never knew that Kenneth is an engineer, Blackmore is an engineer, Roosevelt is an engineer. So if engineers have told you that the building needs to be demolished, this is what you must do and put a brand new facility there so that the people of Marigot and environment, that Dominica by extension, because when Kenneth is talking about politicizing, Matt, this is not about politicizing. This is a serious national emergency and a national disaster. I've said that before. So Kenneth can talk about mischief making how much he wants. I do not know where he get that from. I do not know who he's talking about mischief making. But Matt, mark my words, these guys are pushing people, and they better be careful. That's all I'm saying, Matt. Have a good day.
Thank you. Hello, talk to me.
Yes, what's going on, my brother? How you doing, man?
All right.
Man, all I'm seeing is that just lies and more lies. These people and them have no agenda to do anything for Marigot and Salisbury people, because that's a stronghold for workers. But still, they got to understand these people and them pay taxes. They have vehicles. They pay vehicle taxes, property and Domlek, the Wasco. They pay taxes on all their bills. Their property, of people of the nature island. They contribute to the economy. So you have to give them, and that airport, that medical facility is not only for the people in the airport, it's for the whole island. People traveling back and forth or going to a party somewhere in the island, an accident, this is for them. Man, like the same Bob Marley said, total destruction is the only solution, my brother. Nature have to intervene, because no one is loyal to workers to close down that road in Marigot and Salisbury, close down the road, man. People have to start to do something, man. These people and them keep lying to the people, man. In the meantime, more people just dying from crimes, violence, shooting, drugs, everything, you know what I'm saying? Nature Island people, come on, wake up and let's take back the country, man. Come on.
All right, thank you very much. They're going to say that you are inciting violence, okay? So watch what you say. 150, hello, talk to me.
afternoon, Mr. Matt Pelt here.
How are you, brother?
I'm cool. Good afternoon to the listeners. Matt, let us step back a bit. The minister seems to suggest that the opposition is politicizing the issue and it's mischief-making. From my understanding, the Marigot Hospital is over 100 years since it's built there. Because the people, the politicians, the planners, the health expertise recognize that given the size of the country and the distribution of the population, to get from Marigot and its areas to your main hospital in Roseville, the travel time is well over an hour. So the strategically located hospitals in Dominica, you have Grand Bay, you have Marigot, you have Portsmouth, and you have Roseville being your main hospital, in operation for well over 100 years. When you look at the population of that area where the Marigot Hospital serves, it amounts to over